بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أما بعد. The book is a small method. It's a small outline. The author didn't write this book independently. It was a chapter from a much larger 2-volume book. And let me break this down to you so you get an idea about the history behind this book and the vast knowledge of the author at the same time. The author wrote a much larger book. From its description, it appears to be a voluminous encyclopedia on various Islamic knowledges, and he called it Jami'ul Ulum. I don't think that book exists today. From what I know, it's not available as a manuscript, nor is it printed. It's probably among those books that are written by ulama that end up getting lost or destroyed over the years. How do we know that book exists? Jami'ul Ulum. The author in another book, the book I told you that is his only book that I read, in the first page of the introduction of Zubad al-Ulum, he referred to Jami'ul Ulum. That's how we know of its existence. The author said in summary, he said, I saw that my book, Jami'ul Ulum, which contained the sciences of knowledge around us, was too big and too difficult for people to understand. So I wrote a smaller, easier book for Tullab al-Ilm to benefit from. And then he said, I sought Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's aid and sought to take all the information written in this book solely out of the ocean of my mind without using any references, and my success is only from Allah, wa ma tawfiqi illa billah. And I named this book Zubadul Ulum wa Sahibul Mantuqi wal Mafhum. He wrote Jami'ul Ulum, which we don't have. He summarized it in Zubadul Ulum, which we do have. Was written totally from his mind without any references, and it's printed. In Zubad al-Ulum, the 2-volume summary of his encyclopedia, there's a section on Usul al-Fiqh. There's a chapter on Hadith. There's a chapter on the sciences of Hadith. There's a chapter on Tafsir. There's a chapter on Qira'at. There's a chapter on grammar, on medicine, on inheritance, on sects and creeds. There's over 40 different chapters included in that 2-volume book. He has a chapter on Usul al-Fiqh. Then a chapter on Furu al-Fiqh. He has a chapter in it on Usul al-Fiqh and another one on Furu al-Fiqh. Those pages before you were a small chapter taken out of Zubad al-Ulum. From what's new to me, and I just learned it in the past few days, is that Abd al-Salam Shuway'ir, who I was informed is a teacher in the Haram, I don't know him, but I recognized from his name his father, who I do know very well. Back in our previous contact and communication and visits and Hajj stays with Ibn Baz, my father met Shuway'ir because he was always around Shaykh Ibn Baz, because he was a close advisor and a writer around Ibn Baz. And he became very well acquainted with my father, and he respected my father tremendously. That's the father. Shuway'ir, the son, pulled the chapter on fiqh from Zubad al-Ulum recently, I'm not sure when, and he published it as an independent book, which was a great idea for Tullab al-Ilm, because when it was suggested to me by my dear and beloved brother to teach this book, I was actually surprised that Tullab al-Ilm in the West would know of it. It was buried in Zubad al-Ulum, and by pulling it out and making it an independent book and publishing it like that, he actually brought it back to life. Imagine, there's many mutun on all the madhab, on madhab al-Hanbali as well, and they have tens upon tens of elucidations and explanations and works. Now I don't think this one in its 500 years of existence has any elucidations that reached us other than one that I know of by Ibn Jibrīl, and I was informed, haven't seen them yet, but I was informed that there's more recent elucidations after it was made an independent book. The book, Furu al-Fiqh, is considered a matan, which means it's an outline, it's a summary. It's the opposite of a sharh or a hashiyah. It's the opposite of an elucidation or an explanation.